Buildings ripped apart, roofs blown off, and roads flooded. Hurricane Ida unleashing destructive winds and pounding rain on the state of Louisiana, even as it is downgraded to a Category 2. And now we've learned at least one person has died, possibly from a fallen tree. This is near Baton Rouge. One of the biggest points of concern is for Grand Isle, Louisiana. You can see right there water pouring into a beach house there. Officials in nearby Jefferson Parish say they received calls for rescue from some of the 75 people who actually stayed on that island. But conditions have prevented first responders from going out. And take a look at how fast that water can rise. This is in St. Bernard Parish. Security camera footage showing how quickly things can change in an hour's time. Right now, more than 800,000 people are without power. The governor of Louisiana has told people be prepared to shelter in place for at least 3 days. Tonight, we're joined by CBS News' Michael George, who's been riding out this storm, specifically in New Orleans' historic French Quarter. Michael, we understand, of course, there's been power outages here, but this is much larger, pretty extensive, I understand.
Yes, Steve, 100% of New Orleans, the entire city, is without power, and energy officials are saying no one is getting that power restored tonight. They have crews that are working to do that, but of course we're still in the middle of Hurricane Ida. It's overhead right now, so it's just making things incredibly difficult. So we're talking about 700,000 people, close to, that are without power right now as the floodwaters rise in some areas. People are dealing with powerful winds, trees down, roofs being damaged. All of this happening in the dark tonight, so it's going to be a very difficult night for the people here.
Anytime you're talking about a hurricane in the New Orleans area, storm surge and levee stability, can you give us an update on where that stands right now for so many people that are still there?
Yeah, if we remember Katrina, which is 16 years ago to the day, it was really the failure of the levees and the flood walls that led to the catastrophic loss of life. Now, so far, we have not heard of any issues with the levees or the flood walls, but of course, tonight and overnight, that's the real test of this. They've spent billions of dollars over the last 16 years to reinforce and strengthen those flood walls, and the governor said earlier that he was confident that they would hold despite the severity of this storm, which, by the way, is stronger than Katrina in terms of wind speed and power, and in terms of rainfall. This is stronger than Katrina, but something very different right now is the levees and the flood walls, much stronger than they were 16 years ago.
Michael George there in New Orleans. Be safe. Thank you so very much. Chief Meteorologist Scott Padgett has been tracking Ida throughout the night. We have so many North Texas families with ties to the New Orleans, Louisiana area.
Yes, Steve. Clearly
concerned. Scott, what are we seeing right now?
Ida is still holding together. You can see on the satellite and radar combined, not a well-defined eye anymore, which is a sign of some weakening. However, we're still dealing with a hurricane making its way further inland. Here is New Orleans again. Here is Baton Rouge. It's continuing to make its way off towards the north. But I want to point out now there's a northerly component to that north-northwest movement. It's still slow at 9 miles per hour. Now, the center of circulation has winds near 105 miles per hour, so it's down now to a Category 2 hurricane, but still a very strong hurricane that centers 30 miles east-southeast of Baton Rouge and continuing that north-northwestward track. Now, overnight tonight will turn more northerly, and as we go into tomorrow morning, will continue to make its way through parts of Mississippi, and then continue to then push its way off towards the north and the northeast through parts of the Tennessee Valley, downgrading then to a tropical depression, then a tropical low. So still dealing with a hurricane after midnight, and on top of that, flooding rains will continue through tonight and through tomorrow. We'll have more on that and the remainder of our forecast for here in North Texas coming up.
Okay, Scott, thank you. People continue to stream into Texas at the last minute today as Ida was making landfall. Our Jason Allen, he is live in the community of Orange, right on the state line. Jason, some of those folks may not be going back to Louisiana for a while.
They may not, Steve, and of course they came here to get as far away as they could from what is happening just on the other side of the bridge. That's Louisiana, so they wanted to find a place that still had power, still had water. Of course, that leaves them wondering how bad is it over there, and they don't know right now if Texas is going to be home for them for a night, for a week, or as it appears for some, it could be even longer.
At the same time Ida was spinning into Louisiana Sunday, car after car was coming to a stop at the Texas state line.
She came down the hallway and said, let's go.
It was an early morning, last-minute decision by families to grab the kids, grab the dogs, and go. Families like the Griffins had watched the storm surge in size within hours, forcing them to leave.
At first, we were staying because it was going to be to the left of us. It's like a drive to the east, so it was coming right over us.
When we woke up at 7, I was getting a bunch of texts from family, and they're like, y'all got to get out, y'all got to get out.
The difficult part of that decision is now knowing what's happening back at home. And some plan to start driving back even before the storm has moved north.
See if we have anything left. And we've been living there for, I'm 81 years old? And we had nothing. It was our time, I guess. Everybody gets a turn.
Minuteman Disaster Response out of McKinney mobilized its team Sunday morning, prepared for water rescues and wind damage, similar to what they saw in Louisiana just last year.
We're going to be coming into the wind side of it, and we saw a lot of wind damage last year with what Laura did. And so with this having 150-mile-an-hour sustained winds at landfall, we're expecting a good bit of wind damage, and we're ready for that.
You can see in some of the parking lots, the rest stop where we're at, there are RVs here. People have come in with campers. I know there's some people sleeping in cars. There are no shelters open here yet, but those conversations are happening with the Red Cross, with county emergency management in this area. Steve, they're really just waiting to see how big the need is going to be and exactly the best places they might need to open those shelters up.
I know it's going to be a wait and a rush for that help heading across that border where you are right now. Jason Allen, thank you so much. Be safe out there. As Jason mentioned, more help on the way from North Texas. Today, the Red Cross deploying an emergency response vehicle. This is from their Arlington warehouse, capable of providing hot meals and water for a lot of folks in the affected areas. The Red Cross has sent hundreds of volunteers to Louisiana so far, and 15 of those are from North Texas. Now, if you'd like to help, the Red Cross is always in need of volunteers and donations. You can find more information on their website. And dozens of pets from Louisiana finding shelter from the storm right here in North Texas. Take a look at these images. The Operation Kindness Shelter in Carrollton took in 20 dogs, 31 cats. This is earlier this morning from the Jefferson Parish Animal Shelter. All of the rescue animals range from 2 months to 16 years old. Some are ready to find a new home. In fact, one pet, we're told, was adopted today by a Hurricane Katrina evacuee. All the animals will eventually be put up for adoption once they are evaluated.